Hello, everyone, and welcome to another horrific review. Chris and I are back as we discuss Leprechaun 6, Back to the Hood, directed by Stephen. When Emily Woodrow and her friends happen to
That's how
treasure.
he. That's how he pronounces it too.
Yeah, it probably is. When Emily Woodrow and her friends happen on a treasure chest full of gold coins, they fail to heed the warnings of the wise old psychic, who's about 30. Who had foretold that they would encounter trouble with a very nasty and protective leprechaun. This movie's that good that they didn't release it in the box office. They didn't officially put it in VOD, and there's no box office information because, yeah.
In fact, they barely released it. You had to like find it in a box somewhere under someone's
Yeah,
someone's backyard.
it was like
Buried.
Indiana Jones. You had to like go through the temple and like miss the booby traps and stuff. And there's a warning: never release this onto the world again. Oh, and Chris just had enough. Chris just like, nah, I'm out.
That's all I can take.
That's all you have to say about the movie. I'm out of here. See ya. There's Leon. How are you, man? Good to see you.
How are you?
Sorry you have to be here for this because, oh my God.
I have to say, though, I think this is just what this franchise has done to me. They've lowered my expectations so low that at the end of the movie, I was like, huh, that's marginally better than the first Into Hood, which is a sentence I never expected to say.
Yeah, the first four are great. Like the first three are fantastic.
Yeah.
Like top tier. Four is it's its own thing. Yeah, they're like it or you hate it, but there's a charm about it and still an attempt to entertain you.
Yes.
Leprechaun in the Hood was abysmal. Like
Yes.
I was just this got an 18% in Rotten Tomatoes, and I don't normally go by that, but the fact that one of the top comments is, "This is the movie that starts race rats," just says it all.
I think the 18% were the cast. I think that had to be the truth. There's no one else that would have liked this.
Yeah.
Yeah, they sucked out the fun at some point, right? Like they got away from the funny limericks. They got away from the jokiness.
I hate the whole ghetto thing. Oh God, it's gonna be one of these streams, is it? Flip's sake.
Oh, it's so weird.
Right. I hate the whole ghetto thing. I hate the whole ghetto culture. And it's not even a race thing because we'll have it over here with the drill movement. It's all the little dipshits, trying to be, I'm a hard man, gutter rat, and that's glorified. Basically, what they're telling people is don't try anything. Don't try to make anything of yourself. Here's where you are. Here's where you belong. Act like a criminal. That's because it's cool. And that's the only thing you're destined to be. What a shit message.
Yeah, it is. And this was another case, and we talked about this last time, where it felt hollow, like it felt fake. And clearly it stems from the director not being someone, of color, right? Or at least someone who would be familiar with.
Yeah, but also it's not even. I think it's just a class thing because you have idiots like Snoop Dogg running around. He came from a well-to-do middle-class background,
Yeah, it's
pampered
not
prince,
just.
but he's acting all gangster who, and he's acting like a parody of a gangster because he never had that lifestyle. So I wouldn't say it's a skin color thing. It's a class thing. Basically, you don't grow up in that neighborhood, that
Yeah,
lifestyle. You don't know what it's like to worry about bills month to month or that sort of life, but you make a parody of it because of stereotypes.
yeah, 100%. I've never felt that like every role had to be by someone of that group. So, for example, if you're doing a movie about a disabled person, you don't have to hire a disabled person. Like it's acting, you should be able to branch out to other roles. And same thing with the director. Like you don't necessarily have to be from this,
No,
this
because
class of.
you'd never
Yeah,
write about anything.
no,
That's
exactly.
fantasy and imagination,
E- ex- Exactly. But I do feel that you have to have a little bit more familiarity because it really felt hollow. Like all the dialogue felt like someone from the outside projecting what people from the hood,
Yeah,
sound like.
it's like when they do all the plastic patty stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah, you're
exactly.
just looking, going, really? All right,
Yeah,
dickhead. Is that what you think? Silly Yanks. You know what I mean?
exactly.
It just it goes down to don't be a dick. And unfortunately, this movie was made by dicks. Even though um, he hasn't been involved in the franchise, so he's someone else. But the other writer, Mark Jones, was involved in the writing the first one, so he's well familiar. He helped create the concept, bring it to life.
Yeah, and you could tell it was written by someone who had at least some experience. It did have like a 3-act structure. It felt a little bit more composed than the first Into Hood movie. It just wasn't fun. You know, I think that was my biggest issue with it. And like the few attempts at humor just did not land.
There's one, I suppose, as we'll go through the movie, one in particular, like they tried to insert some random comedy, and it was shit. It just fell flat.
Yeah.
Like, what the hell? You could just tell they're reaching. Yeah, that's I don't. I like to have a laugh, but I don't understand comedy. That's not my favorite genre. So I would never try and write comedy.
Yeah, I love comedy, and I feel like it's probably the hardest category to get right. I feel like even harder than a horror movie, to be honest, because it's there's so much timing and there's so many other things that go into it. Like for example, in this movie, you can't have the tone set of a certain. It's going to be a horror movie. He's not going to make jokes. It's going to be very serious. And then all of a sudden randomly try to sprinkle something in. It's like very jarring as a viewer, where it just seems out of place and you're not in a position to laugh because the music, the atmosphere, the story up to that point has you in a certain mood. So then when you try to just randomly throw in comedy and it just doesn't land. Like there's a lot that goes into it. I feel like it's a very hard genre to do right.
Yeah.
Comedy.
And a genre you have to understand. It's like the people that don't understand the genre try to write in the genre.
Yeah.
You know, you don't have to be a fan of it, but you have to understand it.
Yeah,
The
exactly.
various beats and tropes. You know, I wouldn't try to write a romance movie, for example, or a romance story because it's not my bag.
Yeah,
Exactly.
I wouldn't write a book on weight loss. I mean, there's just some things that you clearly don't know what you're talking about.
It. Well, my weight loss book would be I'd write down what I eat and stuff and go, don't do any of that and you'll be fine.
Just at the end of the book.
Yeah, just everything here. Don't do the opposite. You'll be good.
Yeah, but I think that was my big issue with it. Is it just felt very forced, very fake, and yeah.
There was a disjointed story as well because it didn't. They attempted to tell one, but we had this whole intro scene. Although I do want that book. I love me a good old leather-bound book, you know, and Tales. It was fun. And of course, we'll have the witch reading it out. You know, she's given the narrative.
That might have been I'm sorry.
Which
I was just gonna
one of your theories.
Well, let's not get crazy.
If that doesn't make you angry about this movie, I don't know what will.
Well, it depends how you look at it. I mean, the book did reference a number of other leprechauns, you know.
But only one remained.
Only one remained for this story. But those other leprechauns had to go somewhere, you know. And I think those are the leprechauns from the other movies. It's all about a certain point of view. I mean, Obi-Wan taught us that.
Yeah, look how well that franchise is doing.
I did love that book though, and that whole storyline. That probably was my favorite part of this movie because these Leprechaun movies have not given us much as far as lore, a backstory, or anything like that. Very few of them have, and you know, I dip into that. I eat that stuff up. So I did enjoy that section. I thought that was very cool. The animation, the way they did that. So I enjoyed that. And then the movie started and it went downhill.
Yeah, just so with a decent battle with the preacher, and I hate it as well. It seems to be that if you're a black preacher, you have to be an alcoholic and you have to be a fornicator and you have to like do all the things that you're not meant to do.
Yeah.
What was wrong with just having someone with, you know, he could have just been a stand-up character. Yeah. Once again, they're having to tear his character down without fucking, you know, He was a good character. You didn't have to do all that silly shit as well. You know what I mean?
Yeah, seemed like a decent actor and everything like that. It was a good, fight scene. I never saw him get wounded, so it was weird after he is able to banish the leprechaun, and then he just falls back
He
into
not
a
get him with
pool
his
of just.
claws in the stomach.
Did he? Okay.
Yeah, he did. He got him in the stomach, but we did it off camera. They're a bit light in the special effects here. They do a lot of stuff off camera.
Oh, okay. Okay. I must have missed that because it
Yeah.
just seemed like he was in perfectly fine, shape, and then after he banishes him, then he just falls back and dies. I was like, oh, maybe a heart attack or something. But then there's this pool of what could only be described as blood? Question
Good.
mark.
It was golden color. It was not. Was it gold or green or something? What? It was.
It was. Yeah, I don't know what it was, but I guess they ran out of ketchup.
Yeah. I suppose that. I suppose that was a sort of warning, was it?
Yeah.
Warning, movie's about to begin now. That's your good bit. Over. I'm gonna get no payoff. That character, what he did, not a family member, not trying to carry on, build the youth center, nothing. That's it. End of that.
Yeah, and the other characters talked about him like he was a good guy and he was building this youth center. The other characters seemed to be, very sad about his passing, and yet we didn't get any of that from that 2-second scene. So I wonder if there was some like scenes that were deleted, but they didn't pay off that character.
Yeah. Yeah. What a waste.
Yeah, definitely.
They could have had him injured and then come back.
Yeah.
Finish the job properly or something.
Yeah.
And team up with a witch.
Yeah.
They could have done anything except what they did, I suppose.
I like that. Yeah, that makes more sense. Yeah.
This is where we rewrite the whole plot of the movie. And it's always the rule always is it doesn't cost any more money.
Yeah.
Every studio uses finances as an excuse for putting out shit.
Yeah, most of our complaints about this franchise, I don't think any of us have complained about, oh, that special effect was terrible, or oh, this needed to be set in a much larger, set, set for the scene. Nothing like that. We're not complaining about anything that requires money. It's just, paying attention to the writing, coming up with better ideas, and keeping it fun. Like the thing with the limericks, like that was a fun character aspect. And I joke about how each leprechaun is different in each movie, but that's a one character trait that's so easy to just keep consistent among the 6 movies. If you're going to give him the same outfit or a similar outfit, give him the same character trait.
Like why are you changing this one?
Yeah,
that was the worst costume.
Yeah, it was.
I feel like they shot this out just to keep rights or something. I think this is a rights thing.
Oh, is this one of those things where like I've learned about this? You have to put out a movie every so often to keep the rights.
Yeah, I think they had to put out a movie to obtain the rights or do something.
Yeah, that's interesting.
And the Morris is when something's that bad and disjointed, there's usually a reason. Especially when you've got the writer from the first one on board, so he understands the character, and has seen the franchise grow since.
Yeah.
And I retract my early remark right at the back of the series, start of the series. Remember I said the first one was the worst one?
Yes, you did.
Because they got better and more fun. Not saying that the first one was a bad one, but I was saying it with a bit of hope. I forgot about these two.
Yeah. I think for me, it's the second one was the best one. Oh, no, wait. No, the third one. The
third one, the Vegas one.
In Vegas. So for me, the third one was the best one. Then the second one. Then the first one, and then the fourth one for me. The one in space for me was the last good.
Yeah, it's more my theater, love it or hate it. It's one of them.
Yeah,
get that. I wish it had been tidied up. Like there's so much potential with that movie.
Yeah,
but hey, say la vie. At least there weren't fees too, because oh my god.
Yeah.
But anyway, we'll go into the hood then a year later. And yeah,
Back to the hood.
Back to the hood. Yeah, it might be. I don't think it's necessarily the same hood. It's just a hood because, yeah,
Right.
you all live in the hood. You know, every stereotype. We've got Watson and his gang going about.
Yeah.
What's a stealing shoes thing? That loads of movies I see that and they're always stealing shoes.
Well, the only thing I'll say about that is like sneaker collecting has become like this really big business and a
Old
big hobby. Any kind of sneakers. It's crazy. Like I remember in the 80s, like me and my brother, you know, we were always like, we gotta hold on to baseball cards, we gotta hold on to comic books. You know, this is what's gonna be collectible in 30 years. Cut to 30 years later, that stuff isn't that collectible because there's 7 different baseball card companies. There's like all different kinds of comic books. There's just too much saturation of it, right?
Mm-hmm.
There's like 7 different Spider-Man, you know, Spectacular Spider-Man, Amazing Spider-Man, Web Slam. I mean, all these different things. Sneakers. Who would have thought if I just held on to sneakers in the 80s, I could have made money? It's crazy. So there is this sneaker infatuation that I don't understand that maybe they're referencing by stealing the shoes. I don't know.
This is like 2003 or something. Was it 2003 or 2013? Something 3 in the end anyway.
2003.
Was it right?
Yeah.
Okay. So, but this is every hood rat video I've seen. They're always stealing each other's shoes. I saw it there in Reacher, that series, the first. They're stealing the shoes. Something else I've seen, and they're always stealing shoes. And if they were brand new in the box, I would get it. But when somebody's been warning them about the place, like, nah.
Yeah.
What's the resale value of those? That, you know, especially going about dusty hood rats streets and being hood rat stuff means don't watch very often.
Yeah, no, maybe it's just the fact that they spent a lot of money on the shoes, and so that was like, by taking that away, that was like his biggest possession. I don't know. It didn't make a ton of sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Must be a foreign thing because I don't get it.
Yeah.
But yeah, you've got Watson. He's the big dog. Woof woof, you know, going around picking in. Who was it? Flipping. Not Rory. Rory appears in the bike. No, Jamie.
Oh, Jamie's the one.
Is the most annoying. Like, if you want to pick a stereotype of a character, Jamie is it.
Yeah, I feel like that was the director's attempt at a character that would provide comic relief, but instead you're just like, this is like the biggest insult to the Black community. This is, like you said, this is the biggest stereotype. He's dumb as shit. He just smokes up and eats sandwiches and doesn't understand what's going on.
The only thing I didn't see him with was some fried chicken.
Yeah, that's right.
All he needed was to have some be walking up the street eating some fried chicken. Like, oh my god.
Yeah. It's ridiculous. Yeah.
I can now understand. Like, I don't like getting into the whole politics stuff and that there and the whole race baiting nonsense. But if someone's writing about you, and this is how you're being portrayed, you just be like, "Get the fuck, you arsehole."
Yeah,
it's like I hate the plastic patty stuff. It winds me up. It's like, you dumb arseholes. You haven't a clue. And all the stupid pro-IRA movies in the 80s, you know, it's just like, really? They were all portrayed a certain way. And it got me angry, so I can totally understand. But this is insulting. That's the only way to describe it.
Yeah. The actor must have, needed the job or needed the money because
I'm surprised the actors didn't punch the director. Like,
that's what I mean. Yeah. I mean, I had to Google the director just to say, like, this can't be someone that has that background, and it's not.
No.
Yeah.
Somebody from the leafy suburbs that's been put in. But when I see some of the actors' names, they're bad rappers. Somebody called Sticky Fingers, all that sort of shit. And you're like, oh, right, maybe they went specifically hard stereotypes, just the actor themselves. So there's not actually any acting here. Maybe they just grabbed they weren't actors, but like just grabbed a bunch of actual hood rats and went, "Do you want to be in a movie?"
Yeah, and it's terrible because Warwick Davis is wasted in this. He did get a little bit more screen time. I'll say that from Into Hood 1. But he's just not given any like long dialogue or interesting dialogue, and he's not given like a ton to do. And I just feel like he's wasted a little bit. You could have had anyone in the series,
I was like, why bother?
Yeah.
I suppose that's the big question: is why bother with this movie? It's achieving nothing.
Yeah.
Except putting nail in the coffin of your franchise.
Yeah.
Who have we got? Lisa and the other one.
Oh yeah.
The two main girls in this, and Rory, like he's another stereotype. He's just hood wrapped through and through.
Right.
His bike and his dopey helmet, and he's chasing after his ex-girlfriend, but he's already picked up someone else because apparently, if you're in the hood, you can't be single for more than 5 seconds. You know what I mean? You can't keep it in your trousers.
Yeah. That was probably the only realistic part of this movie, is that he was with the girl. I think her name was Emily in the movie. And 5 minutes later, he's at a club and he's macking on, as the kids say, this other girl. So that probably was the only realistic part of the movie. Because that seemed to fit, for his type of character, right? The gangster, motorcycle guy,
I don't know, man. It's just so straight away you don't say he's been away or something, come back. I think he's been in the joint because why not?
Yeah,
everyone goes to the joint if you're in the hood because that's your only path in life. And he's learned nothing.
Yeah,
and he's trying to get his girl back. While in the time that he's come back, he's trying to get his girl back by immediately getting off with another one right in front of her, and then wonder why she's not going to speak to him.
Yeah. He's not even hiding it. It's literally he brought her to the same party that she was going to be.
Yeah, you're just like, really? Once again, it's insulting. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's no likable characters in this.
No. The only likable character they killed off in the first 5 minutes was the priest, potentially.
Yeah, and they never give him a chance. No, nothing.
Yeah. And they make every character dumb. Every character is dumb.
It's painful. Like the dialogue in this is, I hate that talk. I don't know what the word is, street, urban, whatever. It's had different names with it, but it's just slang. It's crass. It's awful.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just not good culture, dear boy. Not good culture at all. It's like this thing at the moment, all the wee hood rats over here going, bruh, blah, blah, bruh. And you're like, oh, fuck off.
And the thing that confused me is like the focus is supposed to be the leprechaun. And the idea is that let's take the leprechaun and put him in different times and different situations and have fun with that.
Which has worked.
Which has worked. So we took him to Vegas, fun. We took him to space, fun. We took him to the hood. Okay, didn't work. Why go back to the hood? Take him somewhere else. You know what I mean? Like I actually heard Warwick Davis in an interview talking about how he would still be interested in doing one of these movies, even though this interview was a few years ago. So I don't know if it's still the case, but he was saying like he had some good ideas. Like he had an idea where the leprechaun is in hundreds of years ago, and pirates steal his gold, and then it's kind of like a Pirates of the Caribbean leprechaun. And I was like, "That's great."
I could see him on a ship chasing it. And
the people like
remember he did with the race cars and the go-karts.
Yes,
and the
Leprechaun too,
and the lawnmower and stuff. He's taking vehicles. They've all got stacked up. Imagine him in a pirate ship.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. Yeah. So I didn't understand the need to go back. It's not like his story had something to do with the hood, or that it was even a continuation of the last one.
Yeah.
So I don't know why
Which
they
should have been
revisited it.
because they left the last one on a cliffhanger.
Yeah,
So, yeah, whatever.
which also proves that it was a different Leprechaun.
But the story said they said it. They wrote it down in quill and ink and parchment. You can't argue against that.
You always listen to what parchment tells you. It's a weird argument.
blah, 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 blah. Oh, hello, Mr. Demon. Bend you back for tea. Yeah. Oh, but we got leads. They're going around the whatever the building site because that's what you do.
Mhm.
She falls straight through it and doesn't break her legs.
Yeah.
Like there's no way a fall from that height, landing straight on your legs, your shins would be shattered.
That's a good point. Yeah.
Well, maybe she didn't tuck and roll.
Yeah, that's true. Maybe the floor was carpeted because, like, if you noticed, it was funny. She goes to light a candle, and behind her, you see like there are wall sconces with the lights on. Did you notice that?
Yes.
And she's got her little candle, and it's like furnished behind her and everything like that. It looks like someone's been there.
Yeah.
And there's lights everywhere, and she's still got her candle. So
what do you
maybe doing? Maybe it was carpeted. It was a nice soft cushiony floor.
Yeah, real plush, like proper four-ply plush carpet.
70s shag carpet.
Yeah. You get lost in. Yeah. Yeah. But anyway, the plot needed to happen.
Yeah.
She finds her way. Instead of waiting, like, why do you go exploring? You just wait, don't you? Oh, I'm getting the rope. Okay, I will not move through the place that just collapsed in case it collapses more.
Right.
Nah.
Yeah. Well, it's because, again, everyone in this movie just makes dumb decisions. And we've seen that in certain horror movies, right? The whole trope, everyone runs into the basement or runs into the attic. But this took it to another level.
Yeah. And then change of canon. It's a chest this time. It's not a pot.
Yeah. And I've never said this before, but I was actually interested in what was inside the chest. I wasn't interested in the chest because I thought that was sort of interesting. It's a little bit different than we've seen in the past movies. And let's just say it got me thinking a little bit.
Were you able to think during this movie?
Just the one time.
Oh dear. You know what happens when you start thinking?
I sure do.
I guess I best we gotta go and explore them thoughts then, eh?
Let's do it.
It's a theory. It's a Chris. It's a theory. Chrissy Chris.
Chris's crazy theory.
All right then. Let's try and make sense of this absolute pile of doo-doo.
So it's interesting. Can you hear me okay?
Yes.
All right. So it's interesting that you bring up the chest because it was different than all the other pots of gold that we've seen. And to catch our audience up in case they're catching us midstream here, let's go back to the beginning of the movie where we have this awesome book that they should sell because that was the best part of the movie.
Do you think they put all the effort into like the first 5 minutes and then got burnt out creatively?
Yeah. This was 90% of the budget in this book.
Yeah, they burnt the entire budget and the creative endeavor for this movie in the first 5 minutes and then just fell flat.
They did, but there was a lot of interesting information in here. So we'll just go through it real quick. So they said, there was his armies would lay siege to the king, and the king possessed ancient treasures. And I was loving all of this stuff, and I love the look of everything. It was great. But the king was in league with creatures of magic.
I love the way they show the island, Great Britain, not Ireland. Like the island's sort of shoved yet that's the whole focus.
Oh, really?
Yeah, go back.
That makes sense that they would pick the wrong island.
Like they couldn't even get the right island. Those bastards.
I didn't even notice that. That is awesome.
I was waiting for them to zoom into the Isle of Man or something, and be that stupid that it was all took place in the Isle of Man or the Jersey Islands.
That's great.
That's our element. See how we bit in the middle?
Yeah.
That's the element.
Oh, right there.
Yeah. See how we bit? Yeah.
Oh, very cool. Huh. Wow. Now this is even dumber than I realized. That's great. But yeah, so the king possessed ancient treasures, and the king was in league with creatures of magic, forest spirits that were called leprechauns. This is great. We're learning a lot of
Yeah,
information.
even though the leprechauns are actually elves, but sure.
Well, again, once they picked the wrong island, I guess they've
I
lost
suppose if they can't even get the right island, you know what I mean?
they've lost a bit of credibility. But these guardians were summoned from the earth to protect
Were
the
these
gold.
Scottish leprechauns?
I don't know.
Leprechauns?
I don't know. Your guess is as good as mine at this point. From falling into the hands of evil men. So they're here to protect, the leprechauns are here to protect the gold. All right, except for the myth of the one that you referenced, the one leprechaun, except, oh yeah, the one that did not go back. Okay, great. We got it. He's evil. We understand that the leprechaun we're talking about is the one from this movie. But on this next slide, I noticed something very interesting that the casual viewer clearly missed. So here's a depiction of the king. The king's reign would come to an end is the caption. And yes, we have a leprechaun who seems to be maybe sleeping. Maybe he's sad about the king's death. No, I say no, good sir. I say there's more afoot in this image than the casual viewer would observe. Notice if we zoom in here, there's an image of a second leprechaun here with his hand raised as if in anger or in an attack pose. And he's shrouded in darkness. So he's committing some evil act. I think
he's writing the script for this movie.
I think he's committing the second evil act besides writing the script. I think he's actually attacking and killing this leprechaun. They give another, clue here. These vines resemble veins as the blood pours out. Who knows? Maybe he even killed the king, but that's a theory for another time. But he clearly killed this leprechaun. This is a leprechaun committing murder. Leprechaun on leprechaun crime. Now, I know I can see it's the worst kind of crime there is, besides being the scriptwriter, as you mentioned. So let's proceed. I have more proof because this is a very, I'm accusing someone of murder. This is not going to hold up in any court unless I have more proof.
Have you seen the justice system today?
All right, maybe it would hold up.
Trial by social media. Whoever gets the most likes and clicks.
That's off. That is fair. But I do have more proof anyway. So we'll just go through the exercise of giving the proof. So look, it's no coincidence that a movie that featured this hidden leprechaun on leprechaun crime would be set in the hood. It's famously, the hood is known famously for, unfortunately, black on black crime. It's very prevalent. It's very sad. The statistics don't lie. I'm also going to skip forward so you don't look at the statistics, but they don't lie. So there is a reason that they set this movie here to hide the fact that there was some leprechaun on leprechaun crime. A leprechaun killed another leprechaun. I have more evidence. So this priest that we talked about, he says you're going back to hell tonight and back to the grave from whence you came. And we have this part where the leprechaun is getting dragged under the dirt by hands, supposedly from hell. Now, we've seen 5 other leprechaun movies at this point. We've seen the leprechaun get killed, get thrown into a well. He's died a few times, exploded. We've never seen hell, hands from hell drag him down. So this leprechaun did something worse than any of the other leprechauns did to be deserving of this sort of eternal damnation. And I propose it's the fact that he killed another leprechaun. Let's proceed.
He's randomly killing every human he encounters. That's perfectly fine. Yeah.
But leprechaun on leprechaun crime is the worst kind of crime.
Worst.
That's the worst. That and script writing. So another example of why this leprechaun was punished is the fact that he has no powers. Every other leprechaun in the other movies have some sort of powers. They could transport themselves. They could create illusions. could appear in a guy's penis. That one, probably not the best of powers.
Well,
but
not for the other person anyway, as we saw.
no, it's definitely not for the other person. But this leprechaun is
Leprechaun
none of
seemed
those.
happy enough. He was enjoying himself.
That's true.
We could then slide.
But this leprechaun has no powers, as clearly evidenced by this scene. He gets run over by a motorcycle, and he's just got to walk after him because he's got no abilities. He's been punished. He's been damned, and his powers have been removed.
It didn't run out of budget.
And they ran out of budget.
But spent it all in the first 5 minutes.
So you sound like a skeptic, and I know just the case for a skeptic.
Just be with this movie, because
I have just a solution for a skeptic: more hard-cutting journalistic evidence. So we have the chest that she finds, and when she falls through the floor, right? And we talked about how in the other movies there was a pot of gold, not a chest. She opens the chest, and they could see the gold in this image. Take a look at the number of coins. All right, this is different than the other movies, and I'll show you. She says there's 200 coins, and then she even repeats it. That's 50 coins for each of us, being that there was 4 of them. 200 coins. Did that strike you as odd, considering that we've seen 5 other Leprechaun movies?
Well, yeah, because the pot only holds 100 coins.
Exactly. 100 coins. The first movie, Leprechaun, he's counting 100 coins. He even gets to number 99, and he says, I'm missing one. He's angry because there's only supposed to be 100 coins. 100, not a coin more. Leprechaun 2, 100 coins. Leprechaun 3, very gross, but 100 coins in that guy's belly. 100 coins is the point. So how did he get 200 coins? The only way is that because he killed another leprechaun and took his 100 coins. You still have to pay the devil, my friend, and he did. And he's eternally damned because this leprechaun killed another and stole his pot of 100 coins.
There you go, folks. Still makes more sense in this bloody script. It's a theory. It's a Chris. It's a theory. Chris's crazy theory. To be sure.
I like the comments.
Yeah, pretty sure leprechauns are an endangered species. Well, they are after this franchise because I don't. Well, actually, I found out something horrible at the end list, which we'll go over.
And he put shocking.
Shocking.
This is the expose. This leprechaun is going to jail.
This is one of these ones that, like anything apart from the actual movie itself is more fun because there's just none here.
Yeah.
So they get their coins, and of course they all act dumb. Like they all hate living in the hood, so they say, but then they go and spend their money in the hood, doing the stupid shit. And there's nothing. And this is not even color related. This is just chavtastic all over the world. Shitty tracksuits with bling is the most god awful like
combination. Yeah.
The two don't go to. If you're going to wear a shitty tracksuit, it's like polishing a turd. You don't put bling. And they do it over here too. And you're just like, mate, you're wearing a tracksuit. Or back in the 90s, remember shell suits?
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? You just don't do that.
Yeah, that's a good point. And why did they just leave if they have all this money? Just go to
go somewhere else,
the Caribbean or something. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, but that doesn't have to be that far fetched. Just leave the hood. Don't have to go to Beverly Hills, but go to a semi-decent neighborhood.
Yeah,
get somewhere and just don't act like hood rats. But once again, this movie's telling, like, imagine you're Imagine you live in one of these estates or projects, whatever you call them over there,
Mhm.
and you're looking for inspiration and hope. I can get out of this. There's got to be a way out. There's got to be a
Yeah.
way to better. I don't want to live this lifestyle. What's this movie telling you? Oh, you come into a load of money. Guess what you do? You go around to the barbers, you go around to the salon, you just blow it. You go and buy a couple of bin bags full of blow, and you just get baked and have parties, and that's all you do because that's all you're worth. That's all you're
Yeah.
capable of doing. That's the message. Shitty movies like this tell people.
Yeah. That's true. That's true.
And you can understand why the pendulum, it's movies like this. Thankfully, there aren't too many of them and they don't do that well because even at the time, people are like, what the fuck's this?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? People know. Um, People don't like stereotypes, that's extreme, even back in the day. When we were all racist, apparently, and everybody uh just hated everybody else and nobody got along. Even
Right.
though
Right. Right.
like late 90s, early 2000s were the best times ever for actually getting past all this shit.
Thank God we're in a better place now, right?
Oh yeah, everyone gets along swimmingly. Thanks. Thank you, social media.
And what always bothered me too with all of these Leprechaun movies is like they show after they get the gold, they show that they're able to buy all these things. They never are able to show how. Like you can't just go to an ATM and like deposit the gold coins and exchange them for money. Like that's a tough thing to sell, like a gold coin that's 1,000 years old, and they never show any of it. And then when the Leprechaun comes, he's always like assuming they have all of his gold. It's not like he has to go to the different like hobby shops or wherever they sold it or whatever, and like try to bank vaults or whatever and try to get it back. So it's like they exchange it for whatever goods they buy without actually giving the gold.
And this one actually was worse because the put of value on it. What did it say? Each one was worth about 50 grand or something each.
He actually said they're 4,000 or 5,000 without the historical value. So like just the gold itself,
just for the weight of gold. Yeah, just for the
weight. Yeah,
but
yeah.
But
the historical value is
so essentially one
times.
coin. If they used one coin, they were set. So why are they spending them like they're pennies?
Yeah,
chucking them around the place. Do you know what I mean?
right.
Like one coin, get it. Even if they just get sold it for weight or 2 coins, there's 10 grand. All the silly shit they've done.
Yeah,
But they're spending the coins like like they're dollars.
yeah.
Once again, it's insulting the stupidity because it doesn't add up.
100%.
They may as well not. They may as well not have the money if they're going to blow through it like that. They may as well not have it because they're not. What are they doing?
Yeah, they're just gonna use it on blow and stay in the same place, I guess, right?
Yeah.
Have a nicer car and that's it. Yeah.
Whoopie doo.
Yeah.
What's I mean? What's the point in getting the latest 7 Series or something if you're just going to drive around the same 5 streets of your estate?
Yeah. And it's not a money thing for the production. Like we understand, like maybe they can't afford to build like different sets somewhere else or to shoot somewhere outside of the locations that they picked. But at least incorporate that into the story. Like they're on the way to leave and the leprechaun stops them. Like do something. There's a way to easily make it work in the story without spending more money. And they
Without
just
all
don't
that filler, because that's all the
Yeah.
middle of this movie is. It's just filler.
Yeah. Yeah.
And all the extras and stuff can come in the salon. So that's just the waste time because they don't have a story here.
Right.
Why didn't they decide to try and get the youth center built again? Have a bit of altruism. Give us someone that we could root for.
Yeah. That's a good point. That's a very underlooked aspect of a horror movie is you have to have at least one character to latch onto that you're hoping survives, Yeah, that's a good point. And there wasn't any.
No, because I don't care if Rory survived. I don't care if not Lisa, the other one,
Emily?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
didn't care if she survived.
Yeah.
None of these, for frick's sake, the sooner Dum Dum died is better because he was annoying.
Jamie? Yeah.
Jamie, yeah. Watson and the rest of them are just cannon fodder. You knew that from the start. They were non-characters. They were just, you know what I mean? And it's fair enough having a few of them in a slasher, but not every cast member.
And if you're gonna go that route where you're gonna make it like a true slasher and you're not gonna care about the people, then you have to make the kills somewhat diverse and entertaining.
Mm-hmm.
And like all the kills were like a hand to the stomach. There must have been like 4 of those.
Off screen as well. Like even when he killed Lisa.
Yeah. Yeah. There was no like fun or interesting component to this.
And we'll have the whole setup with the girlfriend getting the gold coin melted down to make a shitty gold tooth.
Yes.
Oh,
Yeah.
I hate those things
Yeah.
too. My granddad one of those.
Yeah, I
They're
never
ugly.
understood that. Why are you drawing attention to the fact that you're missing a human tooth and you're replacing it with something metal and shiny? Like, don't you want to like not call attention to the fact that you're missing one? Yeah, I never got that. Yeah.
No, it's utterly stupidity. Like I said, this was boring. It was just filler.
Yeah.
The blew their load after 5 minutes. This movie, and then the rest is just meandering along to get to the end.
Yeah.
There's another wasted character, was the fortune teller, Esmeralda.
Yeah. That could have been interesting. How did she get these powers? Like, what history does she have with the leprechaun that she knows so much about it? Like, what's going on? Like, where's her backstory? What, nothing.
No. And even she gets killed off screen. Notice the
Yeah.
number of off screen kills in this because they couldn't do it. They obviously didn't have the effects team.
I guess. Yeah. Because you can't be worried about like, the kill scenes were too violent and it would have given us a higher rating because it was direct to DVD, so it wasn't even in the theaters. So it wasn't that.
No, it's just I genuinely feel what was it, Trimark?
Trimark.
Trimark owned it originally, and then Lionsgate took over. Lionsgate aren't the best. They're not they're all right, but they're mediocre. They're not really inspiring.
Yeah, like at first, it reminded me of with the Tremor series, how Stampede Entertainment had it, and then it went over to Universal and became completely different. But the difference is that Stampede was very successful when they had the franchise, and then Universal took over and changed everything and made it worse. In this case, you can't really say that Trimark was doing a great job with it.
No, because they burnt out their goodwill with the first In the Hood movie. But
so
I think that Lionsgate taking over just wanted something quick.
Yeah.
I honestly think it was a time thing. Throw this thing together and shit it out there so we keep the rights and move forward with the franchise. Right.
But I don't understand, if you don't value something, why do you want to keep it so much?
Number crunchers. It's not that movie they're going to make. It's the next 3 or 4 or something. It's what do you call it? Merchandise rights. No, that kind of stuff. Because they own the IP, the property. Every time somebody makes a Leprechaun figurine, or maybe not so much lunchboxes and stuff, but you know what I mean? Every time the image is used for something, their t-shirts.
Right.
That probably makes them more money than the actual movie.
Could be. And that would explain why they made 2 more movies without Warwick Davis, because they just figure, let's just make this as cheap as possible. We don't have to spend any money on talent and just get, keep the rights going.
Yeah, shit. I always argued that Leprechaun Origins and Leprechaun Returns weren't part of this. I thought they were completely separate movies. Turns out, no, they are. Except, like, it's not even by the same studio. But yeah, something we'll have to watch that one.
I'll leave it up to you. It's tough.
I need a break.
Yeah,
I think we need to do something else in between. Maybe come back to it. But I need a break from this franchise.
I think let the audience, if the audience tells us they want us to review it, then we do it.
My audience are bastards. They'll do it just to annoy me. They know me too well. Have you any idea how sadistic the audience of this channel is?
That's awesome.
Oh, do you not remember the whole found footage? We will convert you, Cole. Oh my god, yeah.
See, you got some good people.
Yeah, they'll just be like, yeah.
He said, I'm not that much of a sadist. Yeah.
Yeah, Leprechaun Oranges is terrible. And I'm talking about the whole plastic patty thing. Like when you talk about taking a culture and making fun of it, making it really thick as fuck.
Oh, is that what that one is?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it almost started off with a bit of comedy because when when Leprechaun first appeared and went to the house party, we had the whole sharing the bong thing.
That actually was a decent attempt at comedy. I have to say, when he gets like knocked into the refrigerator and he's like walking around, I was like, okay, this could be fun, And then
I was thinking E.T.
Oh yeah.
I only had to go Elliot. You know what I mean? I was thinking all the scenes from E.T. when he got that. Remember he got plastered and Elliot got drunk in the classroom at the same time.
Right. Yeah.
But it was all joviality and stuff. But then they just randomly flipped it like that for no reason.
Yeah, and then they went away from it the rest of the movie. The only other attempt at comedy they had was when he's giving a massage to that one.
Yeah, but he kills her for no reason.
And then he kills her. Yeah.
That's what I mean.
Yeah.
Every time they attempt comedy with us, they arse it up. Like the Elvis scene in Leprechaun 3. That was cool. The drinking scene, the one of us, in Leprechaun 2.
Yeah.
Great. Leprechaun 1, not so much, it was very focused movie that. But still, we've had these comedy moments.
Yeah.
Leprechaun 4, him and the princess, the banter between them.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? That was great.
Yeah. And taking over the sergeant.
Yeah.
Towards the end.
So, you know what I mean? There's been great moments of comedy that didn't involve the Leprechaun killing anybody, but they just happened to be along. So there was that scene with the bong and stuff. Could have just been a funny moment. See you later, brother, and off they went.
Yeah.
But they keep arsing it up. The worst attempt of comedy this has to be the scene with the telephone, the mobile phone.
Yeah.
Watson's phone.
That was pretty brutal. Yeah, gosh.
Help me out here, because I'm like,
what
the hell was that?
Yeah, the whole thing with Watson was weird, where he let him just like keep punching him, and then he keeps falling into the garbage over and over and over again.
I was just thinking Friday the 13th Part 8, where the boxer guy's going at Jason on the rooftop.
I never saw that one.
Okay, so the boxer guy's like punching Jason. Jason's just taking it, and then he goes, "Take your best shot," and then you see the guy's head flying off.
Oh, that's cool. If that's an homage to that movie, that's actually
or
cool.
Killer Clowns from Outer Space.
What part in Killer Clowns?
The weak line, the tricycle.
Oh, yeah.
What are you gonna do? Knock my blocks off?
Yeah, but I don't know. Like I guess because the way the music was, the way the movie had been going, like it didn't seem comedic, Like, and then again, he kills him through the stomach, and it just, rinse and repeat over and over again. Yeah.
But yeah, Watson on the phone and his girlfriend calls. And I'm trying to be a gangster man here,
Yeah.
Yeah. And then, of course, Leprechaun picks the phone up, and then because hood women are trash, but as the minute she hears another man, she's instantly going to like crack onto him.
Yeah.
Just because, like, within that same breath, because nobody has any morals, values, or anything, because they're from the hood, and that's the way. That's the way you have to be.
Exactly.
There's no other option.
Yeah, just like Rory bringing the other girl to the the party. Yeah, it's all insulting. Yeah, absolutely.
Oh dear. Yeah, that was. I don't know. Esmeralda talked about her. She was a waste of a character. Could have done something with her. Why didn't they go back to her like straight away? Oh, let's go. Yes, blah blah blah. No. the whole thing with clovers randomly thrown in there. No
Yeah.
iron, no, you know what I mean?
Is that a
Rory,
thing where clovers are often mixed in with weed when you're growing it? Is that like a
I
thing?
don't think they grow in the same
I don't
place
think.
because
No, I don't
are
think so.
is cannabis not like a tropical thing that you need high humidity and high temperature for?
I don't know. It just seems such a random
Not
thing.
suited for the temperate climate.
And from that one or two little clovers, that he somehow made like 38,000 bullets.
Yeah, which only needed one clip.
Yeah,
We had a 200 round drum, you know.
yeah. Uh, the the incredulity, the places that this movie wants your mind to go and believe is just stretched so thin. It's tough. It's tough to watch.
Yeah. Yeah, that's you know, I mean, the whole rooftop scene, the fighting each other is almost like they're trying to call back to the original roof. Was it a rooftop? No, the preacher fought him in the ground, um, in the park. No, but they went to the rooftop because yeah,
Yeah,
and of course they're going to skip to Mexico on a bike with no passports or anything.
yeah.
They're not going to get stopped by border patrol, cross the border into Mexico with nothing to show except a chest full of gold coins. They're not getting robbed the minute they go over the other side of the border at all,
Yeah,
or even the guards. You know what I mean?
yeah. It's
I-
the
I've
whole yeah.
nothing. I've nothing here.
No, it was tough. At least the last Hood movie like ended in an interesting way. It was the first time that the Leprechaun lived, and it looked like he was gonna like dominate. And okay,
Mm.
at least it was an interesting, hook at the end. This was
Why
nothing.
didn't they start it there and then have the preacher form a plan?
Yeah, yeah,
Everyone in the hood's under the leprechaun spell, and somebody's trying to undo it.
yeah.
Oh,
Like
I don't know. Maybe Esmeralda, you know, saying they went to the trouble of building the character up.
yeah, that's probably so. Maybe at this point, maybe it's good if since this might be the last one that we do. Maybe just to kind of encapsulate the entire franchise. I think that would be one of my biggest complaints is that when I see a sequel, I'm enjoying the previous one and I want there to be some connection. You could throw something new in to keep it interesting. If it's the same movie over and over six times, that
Yeah.
is going to be too boring. But I do want to see some connection to it. I don't want to see a completely different movie. And I know I joke about how the Leprechaun is, a different one each movie, but it really does seem like it is.
Mhm.
There's been no connection to the prior story, no mention of any previous characters. It's as if the previous one didn't happen. And when you make a sequel and you pretend that the previous movie didn't exist, it almost tells the viewer that they wasted their time with the previous one, but now pay attention to this. But
Mhm.
then you do it next time, ignore the last one, but now pay attention to this. You do that enough times, and as a viewer, I'm like, well, why am I paying attention to this one if you're just going to do the same thing and pull the rug out from under me next movie? So I think that was my biggest complaint of the franchise overall, is that there was no connection to the prior movies. And yeah, what do you think?
Yeah. And it wouldn't be hard to do. We didn't have like deep lore or anything, but just um somebody digs up the well in the second one instead of the tree getting, brought over. Why didn't just have the well?
Yeah,
What was it? The third one, he'd already been captured, so that's his. The end of the third one, he gets turned to stone, so they'll just have that model, getting moved over.
yeah,
There's simple ways to do it.
yeah. And keep the character consistent. Keep
Mhm.
him with the funny limericks and the joking aspect.
Because they did it
Yeah,
for except two movies. Four in this one, they didn't have him doing lyrics,
right,
which is,
right.
I don't get it.
Just lazy writing, I guess.
Mhm.
Yeah,
I think the second one gave him the most depth as a character.
Yeah.
Because we got the funny lyrics, but we also got them actually directly confronting each other, like the whole scene in the bar. Where's me gold? You know, that whole scene just really brought the thing together.
Yeah. And there was a lot of like face-to-face confrontations in the kitchen
Mm-hmm.
with the guy. The whole thing with the iron, you know, keeps him in that safe. And then at the end, where he's in his lair and they're fighting hand to hand, there was just a lot of good stuff to that one. The second one, yeah,
But yeah, just these last two movies have just getting Tremors flashbacks again
yeah,
because it just completely destroyed the character and it made it just boring. That's the worst thing. There's one thing not enjoying anything, but we've already done it, Jake. You missed it. The theory's been done. You need to be there from the start. We only need dedicated fans here. You're prepared to sit through all of this guff.
You could go back and watch it though.
Yep,
That's
it'll
the
be
beauty
released
of
later anyway. There's a whole segment.
it.
But yeah, the last two movies really just brought this down. I just found myself going, nah. You know what I mean? If the next one is yeah, Leprechaun Origins, but if the next one had just been with Warwick Davis carrying on, yeah, I wouldn't be excited.
Yeah,
I would just went, nah, well, don't care.
you know, the reality is that there's still time. I mean, Warwick Davis is in his 50s. He's not, you know, 70 or 80 or something like that. And with a lot of, you know, the way they could do the stunt work and stuff like that, he wouldn't have to do some of the more, you know,
Well, he didn't do any stunt work in this. Everything was off camera, so
yeah. So they could resurrect this franchise. It works in so many different ways. Like Warwick Davis mentioned, you know, like a Pirates of the Caribbean theme. I mean, you could take the Leprechaun literally anywhere. You know, like they've already taken him to space in Vegas. Like any time, you know, he could appear at any time or multiple times. Make it like a Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure thing where he's traveling through time. I mean, there's so many angles you could do with this. You just have to, you know, keep the character consistent, get back to the fun aspect of it. And you did 2 movies in the hood. Let's not go back to the hood.
yeah, that's not.
You know? Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, I think we need to do something different. I can't. We'll go back to Resident Evil next time. I can't go back to Leprechaun Oranges. I need something fun. I need to do something else.
Yeah, and without Warwick Davis, it doesn't feel
Yeah.
like it's canon. Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
So yeah, we'll have to do something else because honestly, this was hard. two shit movies in a row is enough.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, there you go. There was that. That was it's fun to chat about these anyway.
Yeah. We make it fun.
At
No
least
matter
there's
how bad
that.
it is.
And when we try to rewrite the script and make something sensible out of it, that's something at least. But there you go. We'll be back. Keep an eye out because something is coming up very, very soon, the next week or so. So keep an eye on the channel. Yep. So until next time, keep up to the channel, do the type of things, and remember to keep it creepy, keep it horrific.